And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the life and suffering of Prince Jerian. We just had our heart broke. Thus begins the villain arc. Okay. So, last we left off, at least last that I remember, we had the duel with the dude bro. I'm trying to remember his name. Shmeely. Forgot that we called him Shmeely. So there is a good chance that this will be the end of the playtest once I finish Obscurity. I hope not. I hope it does like the demo did for Brante, and it goes all the way through the second section as well, but we'll see what happens. All right. Here we go. Justice and compassion. You rap incessantly on Emil's door. You're eager to show him the scrape on your forehead you got from falling off the apple tree and ask why he hasn't been around for a few days. Even Martha has no idea what's going on with him. That's weird. Oh yeah, that's right. You click. Too far. All right, there we go. A friendly, stocky man in a carpenter's apron opens the door. It's Emil's father, Alfred. Smiling, he wipes the sweat from his forehead and offers you his calloused hand.
Hello, Schmilly. Meal's out right now, but please come in anyways. We're happy to have guests. You can wait for a meal inside.
As soon as you step inside, you're accosted by the cries of Emil's 3 younger siblings, 2 sisters and a brother. The father of the family gives a good-natured chuckle and tells you he promised to carve a toy horse for his children once he's done with his work.
Can't wait to see how it's done.
Oh, I can't wait to see how it's done. Sorry. Apparently he's going to become the narrator now. Alfred takes you to his workshop. Your furniture is of solid quality, clearly handcrafted by the man himself. The workshop has a wide workbench with a variety of tools laid on it. The smell of fresh wood shavings fills the room.
Take a look at my current project. It's in a week, this statue of the Elder will adorn our chapel.
Ooh. Walk forward to take a closer look. The statue is still a work in progress, but you can make out the beginnings of its divine features, even now, its magnificent face and love. There is a big leather-bound book by the statue with Lives of the Twins embroidered on its cover. You arch your eyebrows, surprised. Everyone knows that only the clergy are allowed to read the sacred scriptures. Interpreting the divine word and teaching the will of the twins to the people is their lot in life, which is very similar to the way that a bunch of, as I've had it described to me, particularly Catholic, a little bit in Orthodox, but particularly Catholic belief, and correct me if I'm wrong, please do. While anybody can read the Bible and is encouraged to read the Bible, when it comes to interpreting the scriptures, that is the main responsibility of the clergy, the ones who have the training and the so on and so forth, which I understand. We can get into that later if you want to. If you want to get into some of the ins and outs of Protestantism versus more traditional belief systems, we can do that. But I'm not going to bog you down unless you actually want to know. To all others, it is forbidden.
I can tell you didn't expect to see a holy book here, but how are we supposed to know what the gods expect of us if we don't make an effort to study their word?
So now, how is Shmeely feeling about this? Because I can guarantee you there's a decision coming soon because of that. I mean, so far he's given an air of curiosity, not necessarily of like the iron fistedness. Let's see what will be offered.
Patriarch Photis teaches that we all need to find our own path to the twins.
That sounds like universalism.
The lots were written by the Saint Isatias and represent his personal path. The twins never actually gave us any rules to live by.
Alfred lovingly scrapes an engraver's burin down the wood folds of the sculpture's clothing. That's when the door of the workshop slams opening, admitting Emil. A grim-looking priest in a black velvet robe follows him in. Interesting. Okay. A silver cross enclosed in a circle dangles over the man's broad chest, the symbol of the twins. Please come in, Father Joseph. What have you... Oh, hang on. What was his voice? Oh my gosh. Oh, after making such an iconic voice, what did I do with it? Please come in, Father Joseph. Oh, yes. There we go. Okay. Not keep saying scary, foolish things all the time. He lies, and he lies to me and younger siblings, and they listen. Please, make him see reason. I still don't think it's right, but it'll work. The priest's stern eyes scan the room before piercing the man of the house. His booming voice fills the workshop.
I can see that you've abandoned the path outlined for you, Alfred. A layman shouldn't seek to learn the God's design, for that is the lot of the clergy. Don't you know the failure of your lot leads to eternal suffering at the foot of the shining pillar? You cannot atone for your sins or receive forgiveness. The younger will judge your guilt and mete out your punishment. You have trespassed against the will of the twins, Alfred. You were aware of the consequences of your actions would have in your soul, but I will not let you poison the minds of your innocent children. They must not be subject to your appalling, ruinous words any longer. They must toil and suffer as low-born people do. Only through obedience to their lot will they be saved from the eternal torment and find bliss at the peak of the shining pillar.
Emil's father looks up at the priest towering over him. His voice trembles, full of defiance and yearning for justice.
But teaching the lot written by Satyrs, a commoner, showed us one path, but it's not the only one. Patriarch Fotis says that everyone needs to find their own path to the twins, just like Satyrs did. Aside from the younger's law, there's also the elder's love. It graces everyone, be the clergy or the lowborn, which means anyone can strive to understand the gods better, to become closer to them. There is no equality between the estates, nor can there ever be. Come closer, boy. Give me your hand.
The priest is talking to you, his eyes trained on your forehead. He pulls out a thin silver slab and begins whispering a prayer. A warm glow fills the room, and you recognize the echoes of the divine grace you felt in the temple of the twins. The silver in Father Joseph's hands crumbles away into glittering motes of dust. You touch your forehead and are amazed to feel smooth, healthy skin. The scrape is gone. Let the grace of the twins silence the voice of heresy in your confused heart. Alfred, if everyone is born equal, then why can a servant of the gods like me perform miracles, and you, a simple layman, cannot?
That's because in the Bible it says that everyone is given different gifts. And actually, miracles are considered one of the lower gifts.
The man of the house is silent and dejected. A pleased smirk splits the priest's face for a moment, but his voice sounds strict and powerful when he speaks.
You have failed to save yourself, but think of your children. Have you any right to risk their fate in this life or the hereafter? The sinners at the foot of the pillar ride searing flame and freeze in biting cold at the same time. Their souls are torn apart by agony and despair.
The children are trembling with fear. They grasp their father's hand and beg him not to doom them to eternal suffering, their eyes filled with terror. Alfred clenches his fists in impotent despair. There are tears in his eyes too. Despondent, he looks at the unfinished statue of the elder.
Stop this! The twins wouldn't have created us to just suffer. I cannot believe there is no hope for those of us who seek God's mercy.
I have a thought. It's not fully baked yet. I'm gonna let it cook a little longer.
These pathetic moans of a doomed sinner do not deserve an answer. You've made your bed, but there is still hope for your children. Come with me, little ones, and you will be saved.
Clutching at Joseph's robe, the children follow the priest out of the workshop. Alfred's body is racked by sobs. He doesn't even try to hold back the tears. Emil watches his despairing father, his childish face contorted by hurt and betrayal. Words fail him. He turns to go, but addresses you before he leaves. Who knew that Emil would be such a punk-a piece of S?
Let's get out of here, Schmoily. You can come to the sermon with us.
Emil holds out his hand to you. You can hear his father sobbing behind you. Oh, there's only 2 options? Okay. Alright. Think about who I've built as Schmeely so far. Is there any subject? You agree to go to the sermon with Emil and his siblings, stay with Emil's father, hear him out, and offer him some comfort. I feel like that's... See, this is where things are getting tough, because like I could make a decision right now that completely cripples me. I mean, dadgummit. Who is he so far? What has he done so far? So far, he decided to drink with the Arknian. He didn't side with either, but now I'm being given a binary choice. My heart wants to stay with Alfred, because there is a curiosity that comes with it, because I feel like I don't have a great relationship with Emil, do I? Let's see. I have a little bit of one. We're in indifference right now. And where are we with my identity? Passion is low. Alright, I have a balanced passion and logic. My willpower. I've really not done a lot in any direction. My diplomacy is low, but that's something that builds over time. I think that what I'm gonna do... Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I think I'm gonna stay with Alfred. This could be a mistake, but I'm gonna do it. You refuse the offer. Emil leaves you without saying another word. And you turn to face his father. Seeing a grown-up sob like that makes your chest constrict with pity. You ask Alfred to explain why he doesn't believe the priest. That I do feel like fits with what I've been making Schmeely to be. The man wipes his face with his sleeve like a child before giving you an incredulous look.
My gods are kind and merciful. Issatiases are cruel and indifferent. They're neither compassionate nor wise, but more importantly, they don't care about any of us. If all the younger does is punish people for their crimes, he is nothing more than an executioner, right? And if the elder forces his love on people, whether they want it or not, how is he any different from a rapist?
Wow! Very, very interesting. Very out there and open, but holy crap.
The twins that priest was talking about make people suffer all their lives and doom them to eternal damnation in the hereafter. That's just not right. The gods can't be like that. If they are, our life is meaningless. There is another type of clergy who preach the new faith. They know the world can't possibly be built on such hopeless cruelty. Our priests can work miracles too. That means they're no less true than the fathers of the old faith.
Even though his family has abandoned him, you see a spark of hope ignite in the broken man's red eyes. The crudely carved face of the elder watches you both mournfully. No matter who is right in this situation, it's clear the faith can both destroy lives and give strength to the weary. You say goodbye once Alfred is done talking. Conversation leaves you wondering if you can find your own path to the twins. Where will your path take you if you don't have a lot? Aha! That's what I was hoping would happen. I was hoping I would gain some scholarship. Though I can guarantee you I've burned a bridge with... Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so we got a little bit more. Good, good, good. Eterna Weekly, issue 4 of the year 1130. We cannot remain silent about the flagrant violations of our traditions, customs, and rules forced upon us by Cornelius Tempest in the 6 years since he replaced Tarquinius Melandius as the great chancellor. We expected the emperor's brother to put the profiteers and commoners running rampant in the empire in their place, restore age-old traditions, and support Archnean nobility. But instead, what do we see? Year after year, the Archneans stand and get progressively shakier as God-given rights are called into question. Every new law surpasses the last in its madness. The great chancellor's latest project echoes upon the principal estate-based lots, the very bedrock of our empire. A low-born man isn't meant to rule. That seems like such an obvious premise, doesn't it? And yet, Cornelius Tempest has established lesser quorums in the provinces to be filled with noble gentry. Now I remember who he... Yeah, Cornelius is pretty dope. Alright, I remember now. I withdraw all of my statements before about Cornelius. As well as wealthy commoners who have proven to be proficient in economic matters. Commoners are now participating in the rule of our empire. Just think about it. Money-grubbing merchants and industrialists are making decisions about the Archduke's tax. Where will we end up after a few more years of Cornelius Tempest's reign? Before long, his absurd decisions will have the people who backs remember the lash. Sorry, that was worded a little funny. So his absurd decisions will have people whose backs remember the lash standing on par with Archneans. Centuries-old traditions will be trampled by a crowd of unwashed riffraff. On behalf of all the Emperor's concerned subjects, we entreat the Archnean Tribune, Agerius Monroe, to heed our call. Monroe. I feel like I remember him. I feel like he knew the Brante family pretty closely. It is his duty to rise to the defense of reason and tradition. If the great chancellor has switched sides. I feel like if I remember correctly, he was more traditional than I preferred. I don't like this binary of tradition and progress, because there can be instances in which tradition is progress. But I get what they're doing. But for modern language, sometimes progress is actually regress. You have to look at it. All right, this event is triggered by my previous actions. Ah! Okay, and I've got both management and scholarship. Very good! I think I've got both of those, don't I? My management and my scholarship. My diplomacy is low. But my scholarship is good. Okay. Your quill pen makes scratching noises as it flits across the paper. Towering piles of dusty books, long scrolls, tally sheets, and letters take up almost all the space on your wide desk. You're helping Ferdinand with an assignment on financial status of the empire. Ferdinand sits next to you. absent-mindedly stroking the pages. The faraway look in his eyes suggests he's not actually reading. Oh yeah, I remember your voice, Ferdinand. It was the one I was hoping wouldn't last very long, too.
I wonder if any of us can choose our fate. Does a person's name affect their path in life? Take Schmealy, for example. It's the name of a character from my favourite novel. Did I ever tell you? His main character's loyal friend who turns out to be just a mirror in the end. But when Schmealy reaches out to touch him, the reflection met his stare with a sad smile.
Interesting, I guess. Your reply is all very interesting, but you'd appreciate if your friend Ferdinand would stop dragging his feet. Cornelius has trusted the two of you with a large, complex assignment that requires you to cross-reference a large number of sources and perhaps even draw conclusions not mentioned in the official reports. Okay, in that case... no, I don't have enough information yet.
You're right. I just find it hard to concentrate on the dusty papers when there's so many things worthy of our attention out there. Don't you think assignments like these are a waste of your skills and time?
Not necessarily, if they help to sharpen me for the future.
Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that Cornelius cares about our education. The assignments he gives us are getting more and more difficult, but we're coping with them well. But I feel like we're frittering our lives away with these boring affairs of the court. It's unbearable. There's a whole wide world out there waiting to be explored, which needs money in order to function. We shouldn't be cooped up here, pouring out for dead numbers and endless legalese, which helps the world to run. God, okay.
Lazy bum.
How is that a good use of our talents?
By sharpening them so you can actually use them later.
Should these financial reference books and dusty old catalogs be the limit to our ambitions?
Oh my gosh, this is so narrow. This is so narrow-minded. You are children.
I'd say it's best to explore and change the world instead of just serving it. Wouldn't you agree?
You shrug, not sure what to say. All your great plans and ambitions for this evening boil down to a night out with Martha and Emil. They recently got their hands on a barrel of apple schnapps and invited you to try it together. Ferdinand sounds so passionate when he speaks about his calling in life. But what is your calling? It comes to an unpleasant surprise when you realize you don't really have a dream or a concrete plan for your future. While you're still lost in thought, Ferdinand slams a palm against the wooden desk and continues his passionate speech.
No, I don't know about you, but I'm not squandering my talent on other people's affairs.
You are getting high offended about nothing going on right now.
It is high time I listened to my heart and went after my own dreams.
You're going to get yourself killed, bro. There's a way to do it, and you're doing it in a way that's going to get you killed.
They're going to dissect a living person in the anatomical theater tonight.
How is that any different?
It's called a vivisection. The man will suffer a lesser death, but just imagining that the knowledge will be obtaining by witnessing the inner workings of his body. I'm going there. You can keep doing Cornelius' work if you want, but if you ask me, you do better to follow your own desires.
Cool, what if my desires are different than yours? Are you going to shame me for it? You freeze in indecision as your eyes land on a line you failed to finish. Ferdinand's dream is quite contagious. It would be so exciting to witness a scientific breakthrough. But you promise to finish the report, and studying is the best way, and it isn't studying the best way to invest in your future. Then again, listening to your heart, what could be better than spending a night with your friends?
Oh, I can do all of them.
What do I get? Ooh. My scholarship is there. My relationship with Ferdinand is meh. Okay. And my management. I feel like staying and finishing the assignment. Because I feel like Ferdinand is being a little dumb at the moment. And I feel like he's really going to wreck himself and me if I'm not careful. Excuse me. You tell Ferdinand you're staying to finish the report. Cornelius has trusted you with an important task, and you can't afford to let him down. You want to be thorough and live up to your mentor's expectations. Ferdinand hesitates, then leaves with a sigh. You return to your books. Sorry, bro. Maybe my calling is different than yours. Maybe this is what I actually do desire. And who are you to say it? Anyways, you feel bitter about missing out on both a get-together with your friends and the experiment. But the sacrifice adds a hint of heroic martyrdom to your studies. It's something to be proud of. Absorbed by your work, you completely lose track of time and look up from your papers only when you hear footsteps approaching.
You two should be just about done by now. I hope I'll find I made the right call by trusting you with the Empire's financial report. The importance of this task cannot be overstated. But, where is Ferdinand?
Ooh, you hesitate before admitting that Ferdinand left. Your mentor purses his lips in disappointment, but chooses not to comment. Trying not to feel too proud of yourself, you show him the results of your work. You explain that you have cross-referenced the data from several sources instead of trusting the official reports just to be safe.
As you should have. You've done a fine job. So, what are your conclusions?
You tell Cornelius that the Empire's coffers are being depleted annually. That sounds familiar. You've managed to identify certain patterns. The Empire spends a small fortune on the Legion's upkeep, even though there hasn't been a war in centuries. The expense only serves to drain money from the treasury. Another considerable portion of gold is spent on the needs of the Archneans, both directly and indirectly. That sounds familiar. At the same time, all Archneans are exempt from taxation and do not report the income generated by their lands or businesses. I didn't mean to be too on the nose there. That was just supposed to be a little jab. I didn't mean to... Okay. The sum spent to maintain Archnean greatness is quite hefty, contrary to the official reports. You show Cornelius the numbers, which you've managed to find and cross-checked.
Not bad. I came to similar conclusions, but it was imperative for you to follow this line of reasoning on your own.
Ooh! I knew it! I knew it! My line of reasoning is dope! Suck it, Ferdinand.
Your mentor puts a hand on your shoulder.
You did well on the task I set for you. Hopefully, this has given you a better understanding of the state of affairs in the Empire. Your future depends on it. But now, it's time to get some rest.
Cornelius Tempest gives you a nod before departing. Your thoughts wander as you put away the heavy tomes you used today. Is it possible to remedy the Treasury's complex woes without any undue upheaval? And what did Cornelius mean when he said that your future depends on what you've learned?
Ooh. Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Sympathy. Ooh. Ha ha. Look at that. I see 1, 2, 3. Ha ha. This is good. This is good. Oh yeah.
And it didn't hurt my relationship with Ferdinand. Okay, I've got one more decision before this section ends, and then I'm gonna call it here. Today is a big day. There's a grand reception at the place, at the palace, hosted by Cornelius. His Archnean guests have already gathered for the evening. Gentlemen sip wine from the clear still glasses, while ladies saunter up and down the halls, leaving trails of subtle, exquisite scent behind. No, I'm not gonna do it. I want to keep this PG. You're busy frantically practicing the speech you've prepared for the occasion. Your mentor plans to address the audience himself, but he has asked you to round out his speech with a report. I'm pretty sure y'all could fill in the blanks. You're supposed to demonstrate that humans and Archneans need to work together to better the shared future in the Empire. Cornelius has told you that time and time again how important your part is. You need to pelt the audience with facts, examples, and evidence, planting the seed of doubt in the minds of even the most conservative guests. The ballroom is abuzz around you. You see Ferdinand. He smiles and gives you an encouraging nod before returning to his conversations with an elegant Archnean lady. Suddenly, a haughty-looking noble approaches you, a derisive sneer plastered across his face. You recognize him as Tarquinius Melanius, an Archnean who humiliated Martha's parents when you were having dinner together. He smiles and looks just as sinister as he did that day.
Cornelius has pinned a lot of hopes on you, despite the fact you're nothing but a half-baked youth. How reckless of him. Don't feel sad when the audience laughs you out of the room. The burden is simply too much for someone like you. The fault of your imminent failure lies solely with your mentor.
Heat rushes to your face, but you grit your teeth and force out a smile. Good. Because we're not a commoner working our way up. We have to earn our respect here and keep it. At a high society function such as this, conflict must be avoided at all costs. A bell rings, and the whole room goes quiet. All eyes are on Cornelius, who has just joined the gathering. Your mentor takes a small podium in the center of the hall and stands with a benevolent smile, his eyes slowly scanning the audience. He seems to have stepped straight out of a portrait, with his hair slicked back, his godlike brow on full display, and his high-collared, embroidered tailcoat emphasizing his flawless posture. Don't make me feel so self-conscious. What's wrong with my posture? My posture's fine. Cornelius' attendance. The word posture comes into play, and I'm automatically checking to stand up straight. Cornelius' attendants must have spent hours on his appearance.
Greetings, my friends. It is a joy to behold so many noble guests gathered together. I welcome the heads of the great houses, their esteemed families, and all the distinguished Archneans to our soiree. Only those who decide the fate of our empire are present together. It is an honor to entertain you all. Our realm has been making strides in many areas of late. Progress is inevitable. Signs evident to everyone by now. Science keeps forging ahead. Take gunpowder, for example. This invention has allowed us to mine deep underground, increasing our yield of silver and other valuable minerals many times over. The streets of Eterna and its newer houses are now lit with gas. The capital will soon consider candlelight and torches a thing of the past. And science isn't our only area of growth. Day by day, our lives are changing to meet the needs of the Empire's loyal subjects. The Lessiquarms are now in full operation, which means that we collect more money in taxes and spend it more efficiently. Archneans are the Empire's elites. By spearheading these challenges and taking charge of progress, we'll be able to lead the realm to an era of prosperity beyond our ancestors' wildest dreams. The role of humans in our society is also subject to change. If Archneans support these changes, our shared future could be truly great. Cornelius' speech goes on for a while. You check your notes and listen, nervous about your own part. A servant suddenly touches your elbow. You whip around in annoyance. It will be your turn to go on stage soon. Who decided it was all right to distract you, and why? The servant hands you a note before stepping aside with a slight bow. You unfold a piece of paper impatiently. It's Martha's handwriting.
Dear Shmeely, the butler just came to tell us my parents are being deported from Eterna. What the heck? Emil and the little ones have been ordered to vacate the capital immediately as well. They say order comes from the great chancellor himself, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're leaving today. Sorry if my handwriting is hard to read. I'm in a hurry helping Mum pack. We might never see each other again, and it hurts me terribly. But I want to at least say goodbye. Come and see us as soon as you can. I hope you can make it.
It's so freaking sad. You feel a lump rise in your throat. I know that we weren't super tight with her, but it's still very sad. Like, he's losing both of his friends. You feel a lump rise in your throat, blinking. In an effort to hold back tears, you fold the note back up. So that's what Cornelius had in mind when he talked about coming changes and the refined culture humans who might shift the Archneans' attitude toward the human race. Your friends seem to have become collateral damage from the great changes your mentor is planning. You still have the chance to see them, maybe even stop them from leaving. But what about your speech? You spent days preparing for it, and Cornelius has emphasized its importance numerous times. Which one is locked? Flounder through your speech. Cannot unlock as my scholarship. I think my scholarship too high? Or is it? My scholarship's at 6. Oh, my scholarship has to be less than 4. Gotcha. But my scholarship is excellent. So, I get to deliver a well-thought-out speech. And I will seek revenge later. I think this is who Schmeely is becoming. He's been following Cornelius for a long time. He has made decisions to, opposing Ferdinand, or skirting around what Ferdinand wants, so that he can make the good decision later. You jot down some words of encouragement on the back of Martha's note, promising to come as soon as you can. You ask her to wait for you. Just as you hand the note to the servant, Cornelius announces your presentation.
But don't just take my word for it. All my claims can be proven with facts, and my mentee is prepared to present you with irrefutable evidence. Because, this sucks. It does suck. But we're not this is not a one decision undo. This is several, long-standing decisions that need to be undone. And this is the moment to prove myself as worthy to be heard when the time comes. You take the podium and begin your report. The pressure makes your palms sweat. You have the most important parts written down, but you've read them so many times you know them by heart. You deliver a report on the latest inventions. Workers in Illyria mastered the purification of iron. This breakthrough now lets the Empire create highly durable steel that is impervious to rust. You declare the Emperor's future will be shared with Archneans and humans. One of the nobles gives you a disdainful sneer.
Archneans are ready to dress humans in their clothes, give the noblemen swords, and put their names on the blue book.
He taunts.
What's next? Should the great house put their ancestors' masks on humans and seek their counsel?
You react with a calm shrug. Humans have abandoned their ancient barbaric customs in favor of Archnean culture. It would be remiss to blame them for being good students and Archneans for being good teachers. This gives the dissenter pause while other guests nod in agreement. You round out your speech by stressing that the shared future of humans and Archneans depends on the people gathered here tonight. Archneans need to spearhead the changes in the Empire and lead humans into a better society. The end of your speech is met with thunderous applause. You see nobles nodding to you in respect. You hear approval in their voices. When you descend from the podium, Cornelius gives you a clap on the shoulder. He is genuinely proud of you. See, here's the thing. Doing that did more good for humans than running home to see Martha. And I hate that because, it's sad, but it's sad. I mean, it just is. It's just sad. When you descend from the podium, Cornelius gives you a clap on the shoulder. He is genuinely proud of you. Your triumph is intoxicating. The countless hours spent poring over books have finally paid off. This night has shown you the shape of the future your mentor has been telling you about. You thank everyone who offers you their hand to shake before hastily slipping out of the room. You still need to see your friends before they leave. You run along the dark streets and is short-lived. You're forced to stop at the palace square, panting out of breath when you see a procession of carts loaded with gloomy people and their worldly possessions slowly disappearing down a dark alley. The old servants are leaving the city. Try as you might to find Martha or Emil in the throng of carts, your friends are nowhere to be found. You still run towards Martha's house, and the house stands abandoned. The cupboards inside are gaping black and empty. There are household items strewn haphazardly all about the floor. The cat your friend's family left behind rubs against your leg with a sad meow. The note you sent Martha lies on the table, unopened. I have obtained the teacher's pet. Cool. Okay, my diplomacy has gone up, which is good because that needed to happen so badly. And I have gone into attachment with Cornelius Timmons. Yes! All right, let's see if we've got something to end on here, and then we'll close out. All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I have to get ready. So the next episode could be like 2 minutes long, but I'll have to stop here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, Rumble chat gets priority above everything else. So, yep. Ooh, okay. I don't have any Legacy of the Tempest stuff yet. Okay, anyways. Thank you guys. I'll see you later. Peace out, homebrews.